And what my real pleasure is now is that I'm about to introduce Jeremy Bally, who he just sang and he's arrived in Melbourne, his first time in Melbourne. Jeremy has just done the most awesome ride. 12,000 kilometres he's been riding across 7 countries, raising awareness, advocating for, and just talking to people, having conversations with people about West Papua and the need for freedom for the West Papuan people.
So I grew up on an island, a small island, where finding water skeeter bugs trampolining on the creek beneath my house was like anathema to not getting outside. I felt time like a light touch. Never too much, never too much. We broke into the bushes and carved our names into trees. My fear failed as education brought me closer to the bees, which I don't see as much anymore. You know, I recall crossing this chasm, which coincidence made dangerously accessible. You see, a tree fell 50 feet across this drop, and there were rocks pretty far down and an easy way around, but man, that's irresistible to a kid raised on principles of open source activities. But that chasm got bought, along with all the surrounding spots. I mean, plots. It's a bunch of plots now. It's like a business term for the ground. And I found myself thinking, that's actually where I grew up. You know, my house replaced the trees, probably confused the hell out of the birds and the breeze, which so easy as you please passed through that property before it was that. And now, gardens grow there, 2 to be exact. And deer with quiet rustling appear in the yard sometimes. They're leery, but well accustomed enough that you can look straight in their eyes. I love my hometown now, but after 17 years of growing up and going to school, I left with no regrets. You know, I guess the relationship is complex, but the love is there. So here's what I don't get. My folks moved there just after I was born, legacy not included. We built that on our own. And whenever I meet a man whose home is like 3 generations old, some farmhouse built of stone, I'm like, drag me along, man, tell me a story. Because properly stored stories age like alcohol, and while it might not be a true account of all the things that have happened there, perhaps the content is worth more for all the ears that have tasted and replaced it with their own recipe. That's a legacy. That's poetry as an almanac, going back and back and back. So what I can't get is the depth of truth and power and beauty implicit in tens of thousands of years of living and changing but remaining. And the amazing thing is that this exists, and though we persist in devaluing this, it is beyond worth. And it is my story, because we're all of this earth. So let's settle in peace, respect what is owned, and remember to pick out bad seeds when they're sown.